I couldn't be any more excited right now.
Those hands were filled with poop-stained underwear, which he allegedly smeared on the face of his victim.
Do you realize what percentage of your opening conversations are about bathrooms, Merrill?
Sometimes when you look through the little hole between the stalls, you can see another guy. You should just look him in the eyes the entire time.
I think you have the wrong expectations for what's going to go down here. We're going off the rails here. Maybe football instead.
It's always next year.
Ooh, I hope not.
I know, right?
Happy Bubble Bath Day, everybody.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Yeah. Kind of a
We had
strange
very
day for
different
Bubble
reactions
Bath
there.
Day.
I was looking at
Yeah.
Mike's lumberjack face there, and I was like, no.
There's a lot of suds that can get caught up in that face.
I don't know if it's good on a day where it's 10 degrees outside or bad to have a bubble bath, but it's frigid up here in the north, Anthony, and I understand it's pretty cold down there too.
Well, it's cold for Florida. I actually had to put on a hoodie yesterday, but no socks and no pants yet.
Sure, no pants. Yeah. Well.
Why would you wear pants?
Why would you?
Short pants, gentlemen. Short pants.
That's crazy.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. So, Hillers, how was your holiday / Christmas / Hanukkah, whatever?
It was relatively uneventful. There was minimal family drama, No one got shot. No major injuries.
Well, it's like my dad always said, sooner or later, everybody gets shot. So,
Remember you said that.
Anthony, you do anything for the holidays?
I was up in the Northeast region. I got to see quite a few of you guys. I saw Nick. I saw Evan. Saw my family, Kiana's family. The whole kit and caboodle.
Speaking of that, I saw the pictures on
is
Facebook.
Nick the kit or the caboodle there?
He is both the kit and the caboodle.
Oh.
Are Danny and Bob a couple?
Not that I was able to decipher. No.
Okay, because they were adorable when they were the picture where they were sautéing that stuff. That was adorable. They were all dressed up nice and sautéing stuff together.
Yeah, that was a delicious meal.
Thing.
It's special sauce night.
Yeah, that was adorable. I was just wondering. They look very cute together. I thought that might be something cooking there. So
some little home cooking.
Yeah. So anyway,
don't be a hater, man, or a prater either.
I'm not a hater or a prater.
All right. Cool.
Anyway, the end of the season's here, guys, and Dave won it. Our first 3-time champion. He was our first 2-time champion, I think, and now he's our first 3-time champion.
That's ridiculous.
So Dave continues to pioneer his way through the Sandlot Fantasy Football League.
Came out number 1 in the only power rankings that matter this year.
Exactly. So well done, Dave. I don't think any of us predicted that at the beginning of the year. I don't think any of us even had him in the playoffs. So, way to go, Dave. Evan falls short again in the championship. And
he had another profitable year for Evan, though. Probably his 5th in a row. Well, yeah, I mean, he's second place.
Yeah.
More than $150, so.
Yeah. What about, so Anthony, any overall impressions of this season? How do you think the new guys did, or you think we got a good core group here?
Yeah, I mean, the new guys did great. All you can ask for is competition and, well, maybe not with the Wien, but all you can ask for maybe at least is participation. How about that one? Which we got from everybody, so that was nice.
We did. Yeah.
We'll make up a trophy for that.
These guys...
Participation trophy.
There you go.
2 of these guys at least started behind the 8 ball with the teams they were given. Grimes a little bit too, although he made some good draft picks and everything. But yeah, so these guys will build a team. They'll get better over time, I guess. But overall, Hillers, were you happy with the new guys? You think coming into next year they'll be a little?
Yeah, I was really pleased. It was relatively drama free this year. There wasn't any major
no gates.
Hoedowns, yeah. And nothing where people were threatening to burn the league to the ground or anything. So, that's a positive year.
Yeah, you never want anything with gate on the end in the middle of your season,
Yeah.
All right, well, so what we're going to do this podcast, we're going to do hopefully make it quick here. We always say that, but we'll see. We're going to do some end-of-season awards, just a couple of them, and we're going to do a slow draw of all the names. Now, Hillers, why don't you explain how you have randomized the draw out of the hat there?
Okay, well, basically everybody got a little post-it note like this with their name on it. Okay, and then I would write something down on it, and I'll simulate that here. And then I fold it up against the sticky side, thusly, so it stays, and then bend it in half, and so you get a little wedge like this that I can't really see into. And then I put all 12 of the names in this commemorative Captain Tony's Saloon big old cup here, and I'm just going to shake it around and draw them out, as the podcast goes on, and then that'll be our new divisions for the next year. That's as random as we're going to get, and everybody will get to see. Yeah.
Can you shake it up like a bartender when you shake it?
Yeah.
Or like a Polaroid picture.
I can shake it lots of different. I can shake it real good.
Right. That's what I require. I also require, are you going to cheat? Tell me if you're going to cheat.
I had no intention of cheating. I'm going to do the whole thing in view of the camera.
Do you swear that you will do a vodka eyeball shot if you cheat?
Yes, I swear I will do a vodka eyeball shot if I cheat.
Okay,
kinda
cheating. I kind of
hoping you cheat.
No, not gonna cheat. Not gonna cheat because I thought I had the easiest division this year, and I got my ass handed to me. So
Yeah.
I've given up on believing that the divisions are
I think
a
we've proven
measure of success.
I think we've proven that there's no way to cheat this thing. We tried our damnedest last year on that.
We tried some of us tried real hard, and they were taught the error of their ways.
So can we see inside the cup holders? Can you show us just so we know that like they're not marked or like they're just okay?
This is the inside of the cup, and you can see it shake. Whoop! See one drop there. So
There you go.
the problems of live television, but they're just all these little pieces of paper floating around in there. So
So one other thing I want to add is that one of the perks
I'm not
of
taking
being,
any vodka eyeball shots. I don't want even the suspicion of cheating hanging around this.
one of the perks of being a division winner is that you get to name. Each of the division winners gets to name one of the divisions. So congrats to I guess it would be Evan, Danny Grimes, and Dave. Is that right?
Correct.
To get to collude if they must, or just independently pick the names for one of the divisions, whether they're in it or not. They can they determine it amongst themselves.
And that can be done anytime. Tomorrow, today.
Anytime
whatever.
prior to the beginning of the next season. Hopefully before the draft. Just so that we can have something to refer to them other than 1, 2, 3.
So I have one last question before we begin this. When does the off-season trading start? Like once the divisions are set, I mean, can we start making trades, or is there a date for that?
You could do it. I think there's a day that the site allows. I'm gonna have to check on that and send an email. I mean, if you can do it, if you are able to do a trade today, you can do a trade today. Off-season trading is whenever we can do it. Now, I'm just going to have to check to see if there's a particular time that the site allows us to start trading.
Okay.
And
So
trades this week. A message will be forthcoming on that.
And there's probably two answers to that question, right? There's actual agreements on trades, and trade talks could be going on right now, at this very moment. You're welcome to do that, and even verbally agree to trades. The second answer is when the site actually allows the trades. Do we want to allow like an email acceptance as official until the site allows it?
No,
absolutely not.
No.
Okay.
No, I'm not keeping track of any of that. We're not having any. No, when the site allows it is when you can actually start, in terms of when you're allowed to start from the league management perspective, whenever we can start. That's today, bees knees.
So that's that. Go ahead, Ant.
So I was going to say, if you have a player that you picked up in the playoffs and he doesn't have a salary associated with him, it means that he's ineligible for trading. So those players should be dropped.
True.
Yeah, you can drop them or keep them, but you can't keep them for next season. You can't trade them. There's no franchising of players or anything like that. If you've got a guy that you picked up in the playoffs, he's a free agent.
That, and if you verbally agreed to a trade, it is not official. It's not official until it actually goes through the site. So,
Right.
Just keep that in mind, and don't cry foul if you verbally agree to something and it never actually happens.
If
it has happened in the past. And,
if somebody's able to make a trade in like a month in the middle of the night and you just want it approved really fast, just send me or Anthony or Nick an email and we'll take care of it.
Yeah, anyone who's ever tried to make a trade with Nick knows that verbal agreements mean absolutely
not binding in any way.
Right. Okay. Well, let's get to it, Hillers. You want to draw the first two names out, and these two.
Let's do this. Let's light this right up here. We'll call this.
So which
Okay.
divisions are these names going into?
So these will be, we'll call them divisions 1, 2, and 3 right now, and these two names will go into Division 1 together. So these will be in the same division with each other.
All right. So we're
So who do we have first?
No, like a bartender.
well. This is like a martini, right? You know.
No, all right, well, it's a shitty
I don't
one.
actually. Well, I'm not a very good bartender.
You should have brought your shaker down, like your bartending shaker that you
No,
have.
I don't know if it'll. I'm not gonna put post-it notes in that. All right. So anyway, this is the first name. Okay, we
You
put
have
the
standards.
cup down. This is the first name in Division 1, and that
This is
name
exciting.
is Nick.
Nick.
Nick is the first
Nick.
one, and I'm gonna write that down for posterity.
Oh, sucks for Nick.
Sucks. Yeah, you're doomed.
Yeah,
Nikita.
the
And we
first
gotta-
one's the hardest.
We're gonna know that he's doomed because he is playing.
Evan, come on, Evan.
This is riveting radio.
Danny Grimes.
Danny
All right.
Grimes.
That's not an easy opponent. I'm gonna
No, that's two pretty strong teams, I feel like.
relatively
Uh,
strong teams there. Yeah.
All right. Well, so let's get to our first award then. The first award I have up, gentlemen, is for the and I sent these out earlier today. I don't know if you guys came up with one. If you have an award you want to throw in there, we can kind of spontaneously go with one. But first one I want to do is worst move of the year, maybe, or the one that hurt their team the most. And this is obviously in hindsight, looking back, it's a lot easier to say this now. But I would say worst move of the year. Do you guys have something for that?
I do.
Yep.
I got two, and I'm going to start. And it's basically everything that Hillers did this season. It's a blanket statement. Trading away Alfred Morris, Bobby Rainey. What the heck was that for $19? And don't give me any kind of lip about how good he is in Tampa Bay now and how he's going to be the guy. He's terrible. And then second place, it's a close runner-up. In fact, he's so close, he's practically in Hiller's butt for the for the win. Is Tom Brady at $35 by Brad during the draft.
Okay. Hillers.
I had the trade of the Winier, and I think Anthony, from Matt Stafford for Darrell Richardson and Steven Jackson.
Yeah.
Steven Jackson and the whole Falcons organization was a total bust this year. You can say what you want about how stupid the Rainey thing was. It was very stupid. But, I mean, in terms of just raw points, I don't think you too many people lost too many more just raw points and keeper ability and just sort of shot their team in the leg.
Yeah,
by
how
any one trade.
many raw points did Matt Stafford get me during the playoffs, though?
And how many raw
weren't
points
in the
did Darrell
playoffs.
Richardson get during the playoffs?
Yeah, not a whole
Fair
lot.
enough.
Okay, and Jackson, not so many either, and for
Oh,
much
yeah.
of the year. So
I mean, Stafford kind of tanked at the end there. I'm gonna agree with you, Hillers, with that one. I don't want to bring it up too much. I feel like I keep clubbing Andy over the head with that one. I don't want to do that because at the time there was he had his reasoning for doing it. So I would agree with that as well. Anthony, yeah, Hillers moves. I think a close
stupid.
second for me.
very
Mainly the
stupid.
Julius Thomas for Alfred Morris one because that was the one thing he said he did not want to do this year was make a trade.
And somehow
Okay,
I
yeah.
still did.
Yeah,
What
so-
the hell?
All right,
Yeah.
next
Setting
two
a
names.
real low bar for myself next season, though.
Next
Next two names. Oh, okay.
Let's start off Division 2 here. These will be two names in a new division, Division 2. They will be
New
in there
division.
together.
You won't be in the Makita Grimes division. Here's the next name. We're unfolding it, and it is Pritchard.
Pritchard.
Mike Pritchard.
Oh, he sucks.
Oh, God. I don't need to see Cam Newton 3 times.
Yeah.
I don't.
So Mike Pritchard will be in a division with.
Cup shakes. The name comes out. Evan.
Evan.
Ooh.
Oh, looking like a strong division there as well.
Tough draw Pritchard.
Yeah, you're going to be stuck in there next, Hillers.
Yeah, I will totally. That's on the next name coming out.
Unless Peyton Manning retires, in which case Evan might take a little hit there. But okay, well then let's get to our next award.
He's got good old Nick Foles on the bench, which I'm sure everyone
Yeah.
will be happy to ride.
Ugh.
Yeah, I'm not buying Nick Foles next year. I think he'll be
He'll
okay.
keep them both.
But all right. Award for best move of the year. You You guys want to go in the same order again, or?
Sure. I also have 2 for this one. In first place, it's and I'm gonna backpedal so hard it's gonna look like a moonwalk. But Evan for acquiring Demaryius Thomas for Andrew Luck, who just tanked like an Abrams.
So this is a hindsight award, basically.
Of course it is.
Yeah. Okay.
So if this was a brag cave or double down, this would be a cave on your part then.
This would be a caveman's home. And then in second place is Nick's pickup of Noshan Moreno for a meager $2. Good job, Nick.
Yeah, that was a good one.
That was my number one. I don't think anybody got a cheaper, better running back this year, and he got it in the September 1st. So I mean, really, really early, and didn't have any foresight, problems in dropping him or trading him or anything like that.
Did he not draft him?
No.
It was a free agent pickup.
Free agent acquisition, and I think almost the second week, and good job. I guess nobody saw that guy coming. You didn't trade him. You didn't do anything else that sometimes people do when they get a really cheap guy that's good. And out of all the running backs that Nick actually tried to get this year and failed, Moreno was leading the pack there.
Okay. you say, and I said this in one of the previous podcasts, but you say nobody saw it coming. But there's no reason we shouldn't have seen it coming. Moreno was a beast at the end of 2012. I started him throughout the playoffs in the championship game, and he helped me win. And then all of a sudden it's like,
he's a bum. Everybody got so wrapped up in Ronnie Hillman and Monty Ball, and they were like, is it going to be Hillman or Ball? And they were like, oh wait, there's a whole other dude there, and he's not old or anything, and he did good before. No, everyone botched it except for Nick. So
yeah. That was a good one. I'm going to be a little selfish here and say, kind of go off the radar here and say my trade for Russell Wilson. I traded, I think, Jason Witten away for Russell Wilson in the offseason.
Another one of my brilliant moves.
I've been looking for a quarterback for many years, and just for peace of mind, it's nice to have one that I feel like I can keep for a couple of years at least and feel pretty confident that he'll be okay.
Are you worried that Russell Wilson looks a lot like Josh Freeman, physically looks like him?
Are you saying that because he's black?
No, you racist.
Because have you seen them? Russell Wilson's 5'9", Josh Freeman's 6'5".
Yeah, but they're both curly.
Russell Wilson
hair.
can run. Josh Freeman can't.
Okay, I'm offended. I'm offended by your racism.
What? Okay. No, I'm not worried at all because I don't think they look alike at all. Honestly, they're two totally different players and they have different styles. And no, I'm not worried.
I said physically look similar, not style of football. But that's cool.
Well, physically they don't look similar. If they stand next to each other, one of them's about a half a foot taller than the other and weighs about 80 more pounds.
I look like guys that are bigger than me. Well,
okay, I guess.
I've seen them.
Dude, you should Google this, and they're brothers.
You kind of look like a bushwhacker right now, but you're not their size.
Bushwhacker. Is this the bushwhacker move?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so all right, there's your best moves. I think the Noshan Moreno, I had that on my list as well. I mean, that's definitely, if I had to pick one that wasn't my team, I guess, I'd go with that one as well. So, all right, Division 3. Let's start off Division 3 here, Hillers.
Back to the cup.
Anthony,
the cup decides your fate.
Anthony and Wienes, come on, baby.
All right.
We're gonna call this podcast 12 Dudes, 1 Cup.
12 Dudes, 1 Cup?
Oh, God.
Watson is down there avoiding some pretty serious danger in the other divisions so far in Division 3.
All right. Who will be joining Watson?
Joining Watson? Come on, Hillers.
Come on, Anthony. Let's do this. Let's see it.
We have JD.
JD.
That's the division of
Division 3.
No offense, guys.
No offense.
Yeah.
You both of you suck.
All right. So there we go, Watson and JD. So right now in Division 1, just to summarize, we've got Nick and Danny Grimes in Division 1. In Division 2, we've got Mike Pritchard and Evan. And in Division 3, we have Watson and JD. So a good start, I think. Really.
Division 3.
Are any of these guys currently in the same division together?
No.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Some shake-up there for the randomization is sufficiently random.
So there we go.
Yeah.
So we're already, people are playing different people. So people helping people. All right. Award for least valuable player I have up next here. And this, you can go many ways with this, but let's see what Anthony thought about the least valuable fantasy football player this year.
Tom Brady.
Wow, really?
Yep. Spent way too much money on him. Didn't carry him as far as he should have. Middle of the road quarterback. And that's really just like a cost to performance ratio valuing on that one.
Okay. Yeah, you know, he was bad. I guess you kind of forget how bad he was because the Patriots were actually pretty good. But yeah, he was a bad fantasy quarterback this year. Okay. Pillars.
CJ Spiller.
Wow.
Yeah, so high expectations, such a great season last year, and such a disgusting, pathetic performance this year. Starting him instead of a more capable running back in the championship is one of the things that might have cost Evan, his third title this year. Him and Ray Rice both. I had trouble deciding between Ray Rice and CJ Spiller, but looking at the total body of work, Spiller really sucked as a running.
Yeah.
He had a couple of good games, but it was always just enough to put him in and hope that he'll do something and then be let down. You know what I mean?
That was the
He's not
thing.
just-
Like, he was active all year. Like,
Right.
you could never really like sit him because he pretty much played every game.
Yeah.
So you'd
There
put
were-
him there and he'd let you down over and over and over.
There were quite a few first-round running backs that fit that bill. C.J. Spiller, Ray Rice, and also Doug Martin. And Doug Martin's probably a candidate for least valuable player. I mean, the injury, you can't avoid that. I mean, I'm not counting the injury because Arian Foster, while healthy, was really good. But Doug Martin, man, he disappointed week after week, and then he got hurt. So.
Yeah, and Doug Martin was mine. Actually, I had him at for $43. Brett kept him. Made that trade preseason to get him, kind of as for an all-in for this year move. So I had Doug Martin as my. Sorry, I've got an audience back here. I had Doug Martin as my pick for that as well. I think he played 4 or 5 weeks, only had 2 double-digit point games, and then was done for the year. So a lot of money, about a quarter of Brett's salary was invested in him, and he just did not perform. So. Okay. Do we want to finish up Division 1 here, Hillers? Find out who.
Is that how we're doing this? Division 1?
Division 1. This will be.
All right. Division 1. Someone will be joining
Nick and Danny Grimes.
Nick and Grimes here, and that person is Anthony.
Ugh, Danny
Anthony.
Grimes. God damn it.
Our first podcaster.
Yay! There we go.
Well,
You
Danny,
get to play Drew Brees 3 times. Congratulations.
I have chance for revenge here.
Yeah.
Yep, together again, inseparable. And
Come on,
rounding
Yay.
out that division,
Yeah.
Hillers.
Hillers. Wow, very
You guys are in
random.
big trouble. I'm coming to get you.
I actually think that you're in big trouble, dude.
I am probably, yes.
So that
But
division.
now is the time of year to talk shit. It's people are not as likely to remember, and that division's pretty
It's a pretty strong division.
strong. Yeah, a lot of tough teams there.
Top
A lot
to
of guys
bottom.
that have had success. Yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah,
I mean, Nick-
I
Nick's
wish
never
I was
really
in
had a
Division 3
lot-
instead.
Uh-oh, did we lose Merrill? Oh, my God.
Oh, you got to be kidding me.
Well, as long as we don't lose the live sticker, I think we're good. So
No.
I assume we just continue here until he comes back.
We got to keep on trucking.
there's a-
Sandlotcast joined this.
Double
Is it-
Merrill.
Is that Merrill? Is it? How many Merrills are there?
I'm here. Sorry, guys.
Okay.
There's 2 Merrills now.
Okay, that's creepy.
Yeah,
Dude,
I don't
your,
know what I
your
clicked.
twin brother is still podcasting with us.
Yeah, check
There's
that
a picture of you next to the active you, and you look the same.
good-looking cat right there.
Yeah, it's just grisly.
So
Anyway,
yeah.
that's our first division. Nick, Grimes, Anthony, and me.
Okay.
Could be
Next-
worse for me. Could be worse.
Could be
Could be
better.
worse.
Could be better.
It could be
Could
a
be
lot better.
Division 3.
All right. Award for MVP, most valuable player in all of fantasy football this year.
I got a surprise one for you guys. And, well, I was high on this guy during one of the podcasts, but I think I'm going to go with most valuable player, especially due to prospects for next year. And that's kind of a slippery slope, but it's Le'Veon Bell. I think
Wow.
that for a late round undervalued pick at $14. I mean, remember, he was supposed to be hurt for way longer than he was. $14, and he's easily a starting running back for years to come on the Steelers, who is a run-first team. So Danny's going to be in good shape. That's
Yeah, I would love to have him. I guess you'll get a chance to find out firsthand there,
Yeah,
Anthony.
crap.
Oops.
Wow, okay. That's very surprising to me. Okay. I figured we'd all have the same person for this one, but
No, probably not, because I had somebody a little bit similar and a little bit less in terms of keeper value, but still keepable, I think, because of what he did this season. But I went same thing like with the LVP. I went with the guy who had high expectations and underperformed. For MVP, I decided to go with somebody that had relatively low expectation. I think really surprised people, and that's Eddie Lacy, who really came through strong at the end of the season for Dave and helped get him into the championship. And it's hard. You can't actually pinpoint one specific player on his team with having him win, but if you could, the closest guy there is Eddie Lacy.
Okay.
Close second for me was Brandon Marshall because he was on my team when I was winning and on Dave's team when Dave was winning.
that's true. Brandon Marshall is the secret weapon.
But let me ask you a question. How can you talk about Brandon Marshall without talking about the man who became famous because of this podcast?
Yeah, we called it. We called it. We were talking about that guy before anybody else. Jeffrey Alshon.
Yes,
Yeah.
Jeffrey Alshon. That is his definite name. How can we forget that? I mean, that guy was, he had some expectation, but not top 10 receiver expectation.
Yeah, I think I might know who you're going to say there, Merrill. But go ahead and surprise me.
I don't understand how you cancel this person. He set the record for most touchdowns in a season and most passing yards in a season, and it's Peyton Manning. I mean, look at Evan's team without Peyton Manning, and tell me that they were anything at all. I mean, it's Peyton Manning. The guy in a very QB-heavy league, which we have, he had the best fantasy quarterback of all time on his team. So I just don't see how you can't pick Peyton Manning.
So in standard scoring leagues, Peyton Manning was good, and he definitely made people win the championship. He was the most you can't argue with that. He was the most valuable fantasy player for most people's team. But it's not a sexy, it's like an obvious one for me. And it's kind of like, just like you said, Evan did so well because of only Peyton Manning, and it's like, I don't know. Most valuable player, sure, but is it a,
I don't disagree. I just wanted to be dark horse and pick a guy on the champions team because that's what everybody always does for MVP for everything.
It's more fluky than anything else.
I don't think it's fluky. Peyton Manning's pretty good.
Yeah, he's pretty
he does that a lot. He's had that touchdown record before, I believe.
Yeah. He did
anyway,
years ago. All right, let's get to our next division here. So we're going to draw two names, but they're going to be in two different divisions. That way we keep the suspense going as long as possible, and we don't lose the one viewer that I see we have. So
it might be you.
No, it's not. They were here before. Right. So this will be for Division 2 to join Pritchard and Evan.
Someone's about to be very unhappy, and that person stuck to somebody else. Stuck a little bit. You'll always wonder, who are you stuck to? Could it have been them?
You'll always wonder.
You'll always wonder. And it is, oh God, Andy.
Andy,
oh, sorry, buddy. That's not great.
So that division now consists of Pritchard, Evan, and Andy. And the next team we draw will go into Division 3.
See that just kills me because way to give Evan another, way to just hand over another,
No, Pritchard's a tough opponent. He's got Cam Newton and two of the best wide receivers available.
Yeah, but now that's like 3 wins for both of those guys.
Pritchard was a playoff team this year.
Yes, he was. Jerk.
And you never know. You never know what a draft can do. We'll find out, I guess.
This one's going in his last game.
In Division 3. Shut up. We're going into Division 3. The person in Division 3, you unworthy bastard, is Merrill.
Hold on a second. Are you sure Division 3? I thought these are the last 2 for Division 2.
No, I said
Merrill
it before
said
we
just
before
we were picking that in order to maintain the suspense, we'd do one from each.
Oh, okay. You're lucky, Merrill.
I said it beforehand. You can go back and listen.
If you had forgotten to say that, and who knows, maybe you were stuck to our master of
Yeah.
elegance here. Well, the world may never know.
Then we
I'm
would
just-
have a gate.
I'm just reading the agenda, and that's not what was written. But if you said it, I believe it.
Well, yeah, I
He
changed
said
the
it,
agenda right after
and
I said it because I
and
realized
I seconded it. Yeah.
we wouldn't need to break up the last two names if we kept it that same way. So
All right, that's fine.
let's get to the coach awards here, gentlemen, and we're going to start with worst coach of the year. This is a person. I guess we all have our own criteria. So, Anthony, who you got and why?
Hold, Meryl, you're in with JD and Brad. Jesus Christ, man.
What?
Ah,
Have we not learned that this means nothing? Like
yeah, I
it
guess.
doesn't mean anything.
You know,
We
Look
were
at-
supposed to have the
hey,
worst
so-
division
so-
this year, and we have
no.
4 teams that went
If
over
anything,
500.
Anthony, that division will tell us who is truly the worst, because I don't think any of these teams have sniffed the playoffs in some time.
Something's
So-
got to give. here.
Something's got to give.
yeah. If you're so sure that this means nothing, wipe that shit-eating grin off. Right now.
Yeah, I'll trade you, Merrill.
Jesus
Yeah.
It means
Christ.
nothing. We'll trade right now.
All right. So the worst coach, and I feel a little bit bad for this one, and it's not because of it's because of one thing, and I'm giving it to Brett. And I think I figured out what happened with Brett. So the reason I gave it to him is because he was struggling early in the season and had an opportunity to make a couple of moves with guys that were overperforming by a lot of folks' standards. Didn't make any of the moves and ended up sort of suffering and floundering for it. Now he's stuck with a very expensive team that he can't keep, that really doesn't have much of a future. So, just a couple of statistics. At week 6, right, when Phillip Rivers was doing well, RG3 still a little underperforming, but Arian Foster was still boss. Brett was 3-5 as a record. So that's the point, especially in a tough division like Brett was in, that you want to start making some of the moves, especially when so many people were clamoring for a quarterback, especially Andy was clamoring for a quarterback. And were you, Mike? Okay, well, there you go.
I
So-
made him some offers, yeah.
So Phillip Rivers and RG3 were out there. Perfect time to move it and try to turn your season around in a season where, Brett, you had to win this season, and you didn't. So because of those lack of moves, I got to give it to Brett.
Okay.
And I'll also mention that at week 6, he had a very hard schedule ahead. He had Danny Grimes coming up, Evan, he had Dave coming up. So it's not like he was looking at a bunch of easy wins to turn the season around. So there you go.
Okay. Sounds good to me. Hillers.
Pretty uninspired pick, I know, but I got to go with Andy. There's not a whole lot left on that team after that Stafford trade. He's got the Eagles are great and everything, but you got 2 Eagles. Your record was 3 wins on the season. You didn't see a whole lot of, attempts or offer. I heard LaShawn McCoy's name floated once, and nothing came of it. No one was really after Jackson, I guess, or he couldn't manage to parlay that into too much, and so rough season. I'm not saying he's like forever the worst coach, but just by the numbers, you look to the guy at the bottom.
Yeah.
Hi, Emma.
But the thing about McCoy, every team needs like a rock on their team that's relatively inexpensive, and that's McCoy. You're not gonna. What are you gonna get that's better than McCoy? And that's
Apparently nothing. I'm just saying that there was a time on that team when moves could have been made, and it came and went.
And
I
the
said
losses
this
when
were
we
piling
talked
up.
When we talked about his team, I said this, and you don't. If you're trading McCoy, you don't go for a better player. You go for 2 players who are not quite as good.
3,
Or maybe
3,
3.
4.
Because they have serious depth problems as well as talent problems, and this isn't by any fault of Andy's. Like I said, I wasn't a fan of the Stafford trade, but that wasn't going to make him a playoff team if he didn't
That's
make
true.
that move. So
That's true.
I'm going to disagree with you a little on that, Hillers, because
Fair enough.
don't
I know
think
I'll
he
be a
had-
popular pick in many people's minds, just in terms of dumb decisions. So I'm not
the
I'm not
reason-
casting stones, but
The reason I would do it is he just didn't have a ton to work with.
Right.
And Deshaun Jackson, what are you really going to get for Deshaun Jackson? You're going to get a player, another kind of, wide receiver 2 or RB 2 or 3 maybe. You're not going to get much for him because he's so up and down. So I understand the pick because he had a horrible record in the middle of the season. We were asking, is this the worst team we've ever seen? But the reason I didn't go with him is I didn't feel like he had a lot to work with.
that's very fair, and I agree with you that he did not have much to work with.
I'm going to go with, for worst coach, like you said, Hillers, I'm going to go with you on this
Yeah,
one.
I'm shocked that Anthony didn't.
Yeah.
Frankly, yeah.
Not that you started strong, and you were rolling, and I don't know if you got greedy or what happened, but
Kind of.
you
A
made
lot of
that
stupid things.
dreaded, the one you made one trade that you hated, that you hate now is trading away Alfred Morris for a tight end. You made another trade for a tight end. Julius Thomas worked out okay. I mean, he's a great tight end, but he's not.
Hey,
a
got
running
a lot of
back.
points for me. I mean, in terms of just sheer points lost, except for a game that he was out for injury, the discrepancy isn't gigantic.
Yeah,
But
it just seemed like every move you made this year didn't go your way.
that Bobby Rainey thing, that was
The Bobby Rainey thing was.
Yes.
You really could have used some free agent money at the end of the year. And
Oh,
it cost
God,
me a playoff spot because you couldn't start two lineups.
It's always about you.
But
won the
anybody
toilet bowl.
who can't afford to start a team in the most crucial week of the year is
Botched it.
relatively most crucial week of the year. For you, it wasn't, but
Yeah. I botched
it. So
Yeah,
Toilet bowl winner, though. I am a champion.
Yeah, congratulations.
Yes, thank you.
Maybe I'll switch mine because Hiller's, a lot of stuff.
No switching.
All right. Well, you know what? I guess to
you can switch. It's
You
okay.
had all day to think about this.
in Brett's offense, he also ran out of money early because of some miscalculations. So.
Well, he got crushed by injuries too. I mean, he got killed by injuries.
Yeah, but he didn't even start a defense in a week where he could have been a spoiler at least.
Yeah, true.
Or maybe it was a kicker. I forget which one. It was.
Going all in on Mike James turned out to be pretty costly there too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Do we want to do best coach and then finish out the divisions, or?
Sure.
All right, let's do that. So best coach, go for it, Anthony.
You guys are not going to like me, but I pick myself. I overcame a monumental amount of injuries that gets downplayed because we don't talk about them, and yet still made the playoffs. Now I didn't do well in the playoffs, but just to list the injuries, my number 1 and number 2 wide receivers, Roddy White and Reggie Wayne, both down. Ahmad Bradshaw, a keeper, goes down. Owen Daniels goes down. Andre Brown goes down. So those are 5 starting players that I lost throughout the course of the season, and yet still managed to pick up guys that were fillers and do well in a hard division. So I'm giving it to myself.
Okay.
Fair enough.
Are you picking yourself?
Yeah. No, my mismanagement was obvious to even a casual observer. But I am going to do something relatively not controversial and say it was Dave. I mean, he made a couple of trades this year. He picked up the right guys. He didn't botch it. He believed in people nobody else believed in, and got his 3rd title. He scored the all-time scoring record for anybody out of any week. Did he? You can say what you want about Andrew Luck, but I would definitely like to have him as a quarterback next season over Andy Dalton. I think as the playoffs go on, that's going to be shown in many leagues next season, and I think he should be happy having a cheap guy that I think he can rely on, in his next year to be at least in that 6 to 10 range of quarterbacks. And for picking up, Brandon Marshall to replace Demaryius Thomas to put that in for something that Victor Cruz. Boy, at $20-some bucks, the more I look at it, I'm wondering, do I, I was pretty sure that was the best guy I could get for him, but now I'm wondering, is that worth the price? So,
yeah.
I think he came away with the most success with the least expectations this year, and so I'm going to give him best coach.
So I'm going to botch this saying, but I think it's if ifs and buts were berries and nuts, then we'd all have a Merry Christmas. But so where I'm going with that is
Candy and nuts. Candy and nuts.
Candy and nuts. Well, I was close.
Yeah.
So
You were close.
So Dave did well, and I agree with the Brandon Marshall trade. I don't think he did well on the Andrew Luck thing, although I did applaud it at the time.
Welcome to my side.
Yeah, you were for it before you were against it.
But what do you think about that Andrew Luck trade long term, though?
Well, so I actually don't think it's good. But in any case, what I was going to say is, Dave got very, very lucky on his doubleheader weeks. I mean, he didn't score well for much of the beginning part of the season, and but managed to come out 2-0 in every divisional weeks. So if
had
that
a couple
had been,
wins to spare.
If that had been different, I think his season could have been disastrous. So I think that he just was it was a lot of luck factor more than a coaching factor in this case.
I honorable mention to Danny Grimes for me on that one. I liked a lot of the stuff he did this season as well.
Okay. I'd give Dave my honorable mention for a lot of the reasons you said, Hillers, but I don't give him best coach for the reasons you said, Anthony, and that some of his big weeks came in the doubleheader weeks, and that's not really a coaching thing. That's just kind of how the chips fall. But part of that, the other reason is, Anthony, I'm going to pick you for Coach of the Year, and it's for the reasons you said also about your injuries. I mean, I said all year, I looked at your team, and I just don't see it. I just don't see how they're good. I don't see how they're good. And you patched together a team that was one of the highest scoring teams in the league, was very high in the breakdown, as I feel like somebody pointed out once or twice. And
I think it was me.
Was it the number one lover of breakdown and all this great planet of Earth?
Yeah.
I do love breaking it down.
But you ran through the injuries, and it starts with the Stafford trade you made. You said you needed to get a kind of a stable quarterback, and you did. And your keeper situation, I don't know if it's great coming into next year, but you got Lynch, your rock there, and you got a quarterback, and you can kind of build from there. So I'm going to pick you because you built a team you got to the playoffs with a team that really I was not impressed with, and you did it by I don't know how you did it, but you put up numbers. It wasn't like you had a favorable schedule. So
thanks, man. I also got very unlucky with the Wingate beating me. I'll never forget that ever.
Did that happen? I didn't hear about that. Did that really happen?
I heard about it. It was hilarious.
Oh,
Question: Do you guys know?
I just stopped laughing like 2 minutes ago.
Do you guys know how good Keenan Allen is? Because that guy is amazing.
Yeah, he's
That's
really
true.
good. I wish I had made a bigger push to trade for him.
He's no Josh
really
Gordon,
excited.
but
I think
he's pretty
bold
good.
prediction for next season. Keenan Allen's going to jump through the uprights for a field goal instead of actually kicking. They're just going to give it to him, and he's going to jump through them. Yes.
All right.
The uprights are now diamonds.
That was a bold prediction.
I'm going
All
to
right.
get, you know how like some people can get Keenan Allen jerseys? Well, I'm going to get his pants with the skin-tight lightning bolts on the side, and I'm going to wear that to the bar. That's going to be
I
my
thought you didn't wear pants.
short pants, skin-tight.
You don't need pants in Key West.
Yeah.
Pants optional, all up and down.
All
Well,
right.
there's a couple bars like that for sure.
Yeah, for reals.
Evan knows what I'm talking about.
Yeah, you do.
Heyo.
Wow.
All right. Divisions
To the
2
cup?
and 3. To the
To
cup.
the cup.
2 dudes left and 1 cup. So Hillers, let's
Two
finish it
dudes,
off
one
here.
cup, and the
This
one
will be-
eating in Division
Wait,
2.
before you do, this will be Division 2.
Division
before you
2.
do it. Yeah.
Yep. So the one eating the proverbial shit out of this particular cup is Brett.
Brett.
Ooh.
Another.
So Andy and Brett along with Evan and Pritchard. Wow.
It's a mixed bag.
Which means the last team left is...
Who is it? Let's
Who
draw
is it?
him officially. We've all forgotten
Who
your
have we
name,
forgotten?
Dave.
Yeah, it's Dave.
Yeah. Watson, JD, Merrill, and Dave.
And Dave.
Division 3.
I like the mix-up. I think it's actually a pretty good splatter chart, if you will. Of
I think we got stuck with the toughest division here, Anthony. That's my
Yeah.
first thoughts.
I think
Yeah.
you did too.
What else is new?
First thoughts, I'm in the hardest division again. So.
Nick's really not going to like where he is. I'll just say that.
He is not.
Just when you look at keepers, I mean, he's got very limited keeper potential.
It's got
So,
no
all right,
Sean
so let's-
Moreno.
Let's run through it here real quick again. Division 1, it's Nick, Danny Grimes, Anthony, and Hillers. In Division
By the
2,
way, Drew Brees, freaking Matt Stafford, and what's that guy's name?
Aaron Rodgers.
Aaron Rodgers on the same
You'll
division.
learn his name.
Christ almighty.
His name is Aaron Rodgers.
You will learn his name.
You will learn to hate it.
That's Division 2, Pritchard, Evan, Andy, and Brett. So could be quite the split there in record if things keep going as they were. And Division 3 is Watson, JD, Merrill, and Dave. It is a good mix. I mean, I feel like there's no division that's really similar to last year. So
Nope, definitely not. So, let's see. If we're looking at division winners, we have one division winner in each of their divisions, so go ahead and name your own.
Yeah, there you go. Sounds good to me. So, Dave, pick a good one, please. All right. Hillers, you going to change your name to Hillers Justice?
That's near the top of the list, because, just as commissioner, you want to, remind people, and that just sounds so badass. So.
It's the King's Justice.
Yeah, I bet I could come up with a really sweet logo for that. So.
Yeah.
Should make it just like a hand.
I'm sure Nick will come up with an equally insulting logo.
So who ended up winning the best contribution?
Me, I did.
Oh.
Actually, not me. This guy. This guy. He thanks you for your contribution. Yeah, that was a fun little bonus. It was like winning a wild card essentially, which I very nearly did anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I think that the season-long awards were pretty good. They didn't really they weren't too predictable. They pretty much went like we thought. Ever since we've lost the pick'ems.
Wait a minute. They were not too predictable, but they went as you thought they were going to go.
Well, no. The process of the award and the giving of the awards, there were no major cock-ups, which is how I define success these days.
Wait. Don't speak
the
too
winners
soon about major
themselves.
cock-ups.
Uh-oh.
The money has already been dispensed.
Oh.
So.
Oh. Wait, no, I see what he's doing there. Okay. Yeah, that's gross. Okay. What was I going to say? I was going to say something. Yeah. Somehow the most improved team doesn't go to the team who went from 1-7 to or 2-14 to 9-7. But
there's a reason for that. There's a reason, and that's because with divisions changing every year, you might get stuck with a really easy division one year, and you shouldn't get credit, because you botched it, or you did okay in a hard year, and then, managed to tear through an easy division the next year. It's points for. I mean, it's how many points are you able to put up? It's the very basis of all fantasy. We're breaking it down to the core there. And Grimes ran away with it. It was a lot. It was a huge difference, which may be attributable to management.
It might be. Maybe. For people who have off-season rule changes or suggestions, what can they do, or do they need to email you,
me.
or how does that work?
Yes, send me an email. Oh, another important announcement. I sent it out in an email, but I don't like that league safe thing. I don't like having to pay to get my money out.
Yeah, or get that give card.
Yeah, I don't even know if that's even still an option.
Give them your social security number and child's name and all that stuff.
Yeah, that sucks. It was a product of a previous regime. I'm going to abolish it. Everybody just get PayPal, and then next year I will serve as treasurer and keep the money and then dole out the money. It'll be just.
And honestly, PayPal, I think you might have to pay a fee too.
It's marginal though. It's like 50 cents or something.
No. If you do friend transfers from the bank, there's no fees on that.
Okay.
Yeah, everybody can just send it to me. It'll go right into my bank account, and then you'll never see it again. No, I mean.
Wow.
Yeah. No, and then all the expenses.
Live good off. $1,500.
Everyone will know when I'm done with the Sandlot. let's put it that way.
Yeah.
But it's just easier, and it'll be faster, and you won't have to sign up or do all that. We won't have to track it. It's just easier. People just didn't want to deal with the money, but honestly, it's a small enough amount that unless I become destitute, it'll never even notice. So, we're gonna do it that way next season. I think that was it. Proposed draft date is the Saturday of the Labor Day weekend because we had some conflicts for the Sunday of that weekend. So people coming in from out of town, fly in that Friday night, whatever. It'll be Saturday afternoon. You should have plenty of time.
Will it be in the District of Columbia?
We can leave it to off-season discussion, but as of right now, the default is somewhere in the Virginia, D.C., Maryland area. So.
Cool.
Okay. All right.
Hey, Saturday of that Labor Day weekend.
Is Jamal Charles still mad woozy? Is he going to be out for the?
Is that his rapper
2014
name or what?
I heard he might be out for the whole 2014 season because he was quote mad woozy.
Mad Woozy.
Well, it's a good thing I traded for Alfred Morris then.
Yeah.
So I'll be good there.
Yeah, except they'll probably ditch him when the new coach comes in there.
Maybe.
Hey, good riddance,
yeah, all right.
old red face.
Yeah.
Old red face.
Well, he kind of really went
that's
crazy with the
racist,
Redskins
Anthony.
name, you know. Yeah. He took Redskins a little too far, honestly.
Yeah, he did.
You know,
All
sunburned
right,
Americans everywhere feel that's prejudice.
Good season, guys. This is the end of the 2014,
This is the end.
2013.
Yeah. We're done with this. It's run its course.
Yeah. So,
Back to the earth.
any final thoughts or
Yeah,
questions or anything like
good
that?
job, all of us, for podcasting as diligently and with dedication as we did. This
More
was probably one of the
podcasts this
most.
season than ever.
Yeah, and we do it all for our viewers. So thanks
For the
watching.
one one person that Merrill claims is watching. Oh,
They're
and
still
one other
watching,
thing.
whoever they are.
If you want to be a commissioner or a co-commissioner, send me
Tough.
a pretty probably tough. Because good luck. I mean, obviously we're beloved, but send me a message about it, and we will make sure you get a hearing at next year's draft.
And then you'll schedule feats of strength to determine who the.
Once I find
will
out
be.
who it is, I will schedule an appropriate voting procedure.
Right. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's close. Let's shut it down then, guys.
All right.
Good job to you guys. I appreciate you all being here for all the podcasts. I know I was a little demanding at times and saying we have to do them, and it got pretty repetitive in the middle of the season there. But I feel like we did good, and I appreciate it. So.
Yeah. Likewise. Good season, guys. Thanks a lot.
All right. This is for Anthony, for Hillers. Anthony,
For all
you
the
there?
Sandlot.
Did we lose you?
Oh yeah, no, I'm here. I just was being kind
Okay,
of quiet.
all right.
Goodbye, everybody. I'll miss
For
you.
everybody.
All right. For Anthony, for Hillers.
Good night.
For the Sandlot.
Good
We'll
luck.
talk to you guys next year.